These are Russian missiles. Russia is launching them against Ukraine. And those are civilian sites that are hit by those same missiles. We're standing here right in front of a building destroyed by a Russian missile on January 2nd. One of the missiles hit right in front of the building, destroying the middle part, injuring 40 people, and currently, as of now, 2 people were killed. As of now, we still don't know which missile hit this building, but we know that most likely this missile contained a Western chip.
This missile flew from the territory of Russia, but unfortunately it has an American-made chip on it.
In this video, we'll talk about how Western chips end up in Russian missiles.
Made in Ireland, and the production is located in China. The entire element base is foreign made, all of it.
Why the West still can put a halt on the shipment of those chips to Russia, and what should be done for something like this to never happen again.
За что? За что? Вот и все.
Today, either some fragments of a missile or a missile flew into the yard of our house, and the whole house was damaged. Everything, including windows, was shattered, and a fire started in some apartments.
On January 2nd, Russia launched 99 missiles of different types against Kyiv and Ukraine. Ukraine was able to shoot down 72 missiles, and currently a team of experts are going through the debris of the missile, looking what was inside.
Речові докази потім передаються на експертизу.
Then, this material evidence is submitted for examination. According to the results of the examination, we'll know what kind of rocket it was. It was some kind of ballistic, not a cruise missile, that's for sure. This is all we know for now.
Они же африканские, а тут зима. Все маленький, Кузя, успокойся. Все маленький.
After Russia launched its first missile attacks on Ukraine, Ukrainian specialists began to investigate what actually goes into Russian missiles. In June of this year, the Kyiv Independent got a hold of a document conducted by Ukraine's special services investigating what parts are there in different types of Russian missiles. Shockingly, Ukraine found out that despite sanctions and 2 years into the full-scale war, Russian missiles fly with the help of Western parts. In December, Ukraine's National Agency on Corruption Prevention published a full list of companies whose components end up in Russian missiles and drones. We visited the Kyiv Institute of Forensic Analysis, where experts go through the debris of Russian missiles to see what kind of Western parts are found in Russian missiles.
This missile flew from the territory of Russia, but unfortunately it has an American-made chip on it.
The experts from this institute are already on the site, looking through what they can find here to see if those missiles launched today in Kyiv have Western parts in them.
Хорошо. Я устал. Ми знаходимося на території Київського наукового
We're on the premises of the Kyiv Scientific Research Institute of Forensic Expertise. The institute has a laboratory of military research, which includes the Department of Explosives, Missile, and Artillery Weapons Research. Specialists of the department work in this yard, in these offices. And here we have a so-called cemetery of samples that were brought here to us for examination within the framework of criminal proceedings. Let's go. This is the rear section of a Kalibr. Here are some parts from a Kalibr that were also brought in for research. This is an anti-aircraft missile. Here is the famous Shahed 136 or Giran 2, purely Uranian and in good condition. It's currently being studied on the inside and out.
Can we say it's made in Iran and not in Russia?
We can, but you can't. Here are the remains of missiles that were fired into Kyiv Oblast and brought here for examination. The expert takes the object and figures out what it is. We need to determine whether these objects found at the crime scene belong to weapons, explosive devices, and so on. They brought in this warhead from a Tornado S, photographed it, measured it, took it apart, and began to figure out what was inside. We provide data, which parts were used to make them, which countries they were made in, what the names of the companies are. This is an onboard computer. It's a Russian one, on a Russian missile, but the entire element base is foreign-made, all of it. Here we go, for example, the airspeed sensor. USA, Netherlands, USA, 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 China, Russia, China, USA, Hong Kong, Germany, South Korea, Switzerland. This, for example, is a Russian Supercam S350 reconnaissance drone made by Kalashnikov concern in the city of Izhevsk. Here are its cameras, and these are the remains of the electric motor. It's written here, Switzerland.
Despite 12 packages of sanctions, the Western world still can't halt the shipment of Western parts to Russia, which then end up in Russian missiles that hit buildings like this. The dual-use technology used to produce Russian missiles is really easy to buy. On platforms like Amazon and different marketplaces, you can buy a $300 chip produced in the States, Switzerland, or the Netherlands, pack it into a Russian missile, and then launch it on Ukraine.
So usually that would be just one extra chain in this supply chain. That would be some of the Central Asia countries or Emirates or Turkey company. So they would just sell some stuff to a company in a mentioned country, and then they mentioned country, this company would just resell, re-export it to Russia. If they want, they can add like two chains, 3 chains, so they can, I don't know, sell first to Brazil or to Israel or to somebody else, and then to Central Asia country, and then to Belarus, and here we go, and it comes to Russia. I think that at least 50% of the trade is being done by the Chinese entities.
What happened? A rocket flew. It was loud and scary. Now we are cleaning up the consequences.
If you think that it's some kind of special parts that are really hard to get, you're wrong. The chips that are used in Russian missiles are actually used in your laptop or in different home commodities. A regular chip produced in the United States can then be used in the Russian missile that hits civilian residential buildings in the capital of Ukraine.
Отут експерти досліджують
Here, experts examine the element base of the weapons that have been fired at Ukraine.
Not a cruise missile, that's for sure. This is all we know for now.
Могу показать, но ты
I can show you, it's Shahed for sure. Here are all the printed circuit boards. We even have the first Iranian ones. In fact, electronic components of foreign production are used in the entire elemental base of Russian weapons.
поставки то йдуть.
The parts are flowing, the borders are open through Kazakhstan, China, Mongolia. They can buy everything and send it onward. Here is a sample carburetor from a Shahed, put together in Russia. What does it say? Made in Ireland. It's for a general household use and is sold for manufacturing lawnmowers or whatever you want.
Ну і застосовується отак.
Two years in, we have Western chips, American chips, Dutch chips, Swiss chips, Japanese chips in Russian missiles. Why is this still happening? And is there actually an option where we can cut off Russia from receiving dual-use technology?
Because gray schemes on global markets still exist. And Russia built some very sophisticated chains of supply with the involvement of their intelligence operatives to ensure deliveries of spare parts. And this is why we permanently emphasize the need to cut off Russia from access to these spare parts. But it's not that easy because in most of the cases they simply find a way to buy something commercially available on well-known marketplaces and deliver them to Russia. But you brought up a very important issue, and we are constantly working with partners on closing these gaps, on tightening up sanctions against Russia's defense industry, so in order that they will not be able to continue receiving these spare parts from the West.
Well, I get that they are certainly not running out of anything, including the missiles or drones or any other armament, gear or servicemen. They are not running out. They diverted the economy to be very much military industry oriented. They are ready to continue this war, to continue this aggression, which means that there is no much options for us than first to stand at the battlefield, and second to push with more sanctions. There's just two ways to stop Russian aggression.
Russia has enough missiles and drones to continue bombarding Ukraine. But will Russia be able to produce more missiles? Depends on the West. And will the West be able to put a halt on the production of Russian missiles with Western parts?